What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we're in the brand new 2024 Nissan Titan, courtesy of Younger Nissan in Frederick, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So we're in this one today because the Titan is an absolute beast. Not only that, you do get the very best truck warranty available here in the US, which is a 5-year, 100,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. So gotta love that. We happen to be in the SV trim level here today, so this is the most affordable trim level of the Titan. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there will be a few different configurations for the SV trim level. You got the crew cab 4x2 starting at $45,770, king cab 4x4 for $49,140, crew cab 4x2 bronze edition for $51,340, and lastly the crew cab 4x2 midnight edition starting at $52,830. And so any of those trim levels where I said 4x2, that doesn't mean it only comes in 4x2. You can get those set up with 4x4 if you wanted to do that. Simply add $3,190 to any of those prices. But regardless of configuration that you go with, the power plant on the Titan is going to be the same. Powering this beast is a 5.6 liter direct injected V8, putting out 400 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 413 pound-feet of torque coming in at 4,000 RPM, power being sent to the rear wheels or all wheels through a 9-speed automatic, 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 7.6 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 15 in the city, 21 on the highway, with premium unleaded fuel being recommended. So now that we have gotten all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find it straight away. Let's put the Titan here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2024 Titan SV here up to speed. All right, here is our straightaway in 3, 2, 1, go. This thing revs high, it just chirped. Yeah, that's plenty of an acceleration for a truck, absolutely. It's got a massive V8 under the hood, so that is certainly gonna get the job done. It actually chirped a little bit there as well, which is pretty darn cool. This thing is a beast still. Anyways, that was a heck of an acceleration. To go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 13.8-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 13.6-inch ventilated rear discs. As far as that 6-0 stopping distance goes, that comes in at 131 feet, is where you're pulling up to a red light right here. So as far as braking feel goes, it's actually not bad. I mean, it is a little bit on the softer side of things in terms of the braking feel, but it's really not that bad for the size of this truck. Typically, with trucks, I'm used to seeing the upper 130s, if not even the 140s. I've seen that before as well. So 131 feet, that's perfectly fine. Absolutely no issues there. But so then touching on suspension and handling, up front, you're going to get an independent double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, multi-leaf rear suspension with solid axle. You're going to get front and rear stabilizer bars as well. As far as ride quality goes, that's actually been perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today. I'm kind of surprised on how smooth of a ride that the Titan actually is. So in my short test drive here, at least, and pretty punishing roads here in Frederick, Maryland, it hasn't been that bad. So absolutely no issues there. As far as steering feel goes, that's one of my favorite parts of the Titan. I think I probably said that in my last review of this thing as well. It's so much on the heavier side of things. It's super heavy steering feel, which I personally love because it more instantly points you in the direction that you want to go, gives you better driver feedback. So a lot of times with like large SUVs, you're going to find super loosey-goosey steering feels, and a lot of times with larger trucks, you do have that same thing as well. But in the Titan, it is 100% on the heavier side of things, and I love it. But then touching on cabin noise, as we are going, I don't know, 40 miles per hour right now, you do get a lot of that V8 engine noise coming into the cabin, which I personally love. There's nothing wrong with that. But as far as road noise and wind noise, it's pretty much held at bay. You guys can probably tell there isn't a whole lot of exterior noises coming into the cabin, minus the V8 when I really get on it. So absolutely no issues there either. Touching on visibility, I would say the rear view mirror is kind of a little bit smaller than I'm used to seeing. I feel like it's just a smaller rear view mirror for whatever reason, but it looks like a truck. You can pretty much see perfectly fine out the back, as you would expect the visibility to look like. But I did want to also mention though, if you were to go with that midnight edition trim level or configuration, you do get rain sensing windshield wipers as well. So if the Titan detected any kind of mist or rainfall, it would automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So it's just one less thing you got to worry about. It's kind of like automatic headlights, so that's definitely convenient there as well. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2024 Nissan Titan.
All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2024 Nissan Titan, finished in Glacier White. In case you were curious of our exact exterior color name that we had on this particular Titan with us here today. But the one major change for the 2024 Titan is there is now a new bronze edition for 2024 with 20-inch bronze wheels, black front bumper and grille, and a bed-mounted sport bar, which is pretty stinking cool as well. So I'll throw a quick photo on the screen there for you guys. But that's what's new for 2024 essentially. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the Titan is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 1, indicating that the new Titan is built and assembled here in the US, in case you were curious. But now starting up front, body colored front grille is coming standard on the SV trim level. However, for the bronze edition and midnight edition trim levels, you will find gloss black front grills. And I will say we have about every single option on the board with us here today. So a lot of this stuff you're going to be seeing on the Titan is for the most part pretty optional. And I'll throw a quick screenshot on the screen of all those options that we have with us here. But anyways, LED headlights do come standard on the bronze and midnight edition trim levels. It is optional otherwise, like we have. Otherwise, you are going to get halogen front lighting. Automatic feature is going to come standard across the board, along with automatic high beams as well. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So definitely very nice. Also, front tow hooks coming standard on the bronze and midnight edition trim levels. You guys can see we do have that as an option. You got black tow hooks down there as well. Lower radiator skid plate coming standard on all trim levels across the board, but the bronze edition is going to add to that a transmission skid plate, an oil pan skid plate, and a fuel tank skid plate as well. So if you haven't put it together yet, essentially the bronze edition is kind of the off-road trim level when it comes to the SV trim at least. So it's the off-road package for the SV trim level more or less. And you will of course find some Titan lettering spelled out on the kind of front portion of the hood here, the upper portion of the front grille. I'll try to get up a little bit closer to you guys. It's kind of actually hard to see with the angles of the sun and everything, but just take my word for it. It's there on the upper portion of that gloss black front grille. You got the Titan lettering. So overall, I actually think the front end looks dang good. I love the headlight design with the LED setup at least. So that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, matte black window surrounds do come standard. Matte black door handles also coming standard. Power adjustable heated side mirrors coming standard as well. However, if you were to go with that midnight trim level, you will get LED integrated turn signals and puddle lights then as well. Otherwise optional on the other trim levels. Running boards also going to be optional. I'm telling you guys though, the running boards have definitely helped me out. I'm 6 feet tall, so a lot easier to get into this thing without the running boards. It's doable, but it's a lot more comfortable getting into it if you do have them. I will say that. Rear privacy glass does come standard on the Titan. And then taking a look down at the wheel setup, 18-inch machine finished alloys for the SV, 20-inch bronze alloys obviously with the bronze edition setup, and then 20-inch aluminum alloys for the midnight edition. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, you will find a matte black shark fin antenna all the way up top there. Just below that, you do have some LED bed lighting. I'll get more into that in a little bit here, but LED taillights do come standard on the Titan for every single configuration. You gotta love that. And by the way, if I haven't mentioned it already, we do have the midnight package for this particular configuration. So you do see that midnight badging found on the tailgate there as well. Do have the black badging to go along with that. I got the side step, the tailgate step found on the bottom corner there. I'll give you guys some B-roll of that, but definitely makes getting into bed of this thing a heck of a lot easier. So love that that was there. You do have that tow hitch found just below that rear license plate as well. The SV tow package goes for $790, but as far as towing capacity goes, that comes in at 9,290 pounds in case you were interested. And of course, just below it all, you will find a single exhaust outlet kind of tucked away underneath on the passenger side. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Is always here is that exhaust clip. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the Titan, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is an easy lower tailgate, so it's gonna fold down slowly as opposed to just falling down abruptly like some other trucks do. But As far as payload capacity goes, once opened up, that comes in at 1,600 pounds in case you were curious. There is a factory applied spray-on bed liner that does come standard, gotta love that. There's also, though, for the Midnight edition at least, you're gonna find a Utilitrack channel system with 2 tie-down cleats as well, so that's pretty cool. Also with the Midnight, you're gonna get some LED under-rail bed lighting, also LED tailgate area illumination as well, but overhead LED cargo bed lighting is gonna come standard on all trim levels. Essentially, you just get a heck of a lot more of those LEDs with the Midnight setup. So overall, if you're gonna be doing a lot of work at night, the Midnight edition package might be the right fit for you. But then make your way up to the rear legroom. That comes in at 24.8 inches for the king cab at least, and then 38.5 inches for the crew cab. Obviously, we got the crew cab for reference. I mean, even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. There, of course, are 60-40 split fold-up rear seats. So if you had a Mastiff or a Great Dane, you wanted to put him back there, that is definitely an option. There's a rear center armrest with cup holders coming standard across the board. Also rear ventilation coming standard as well. But also, I did happen to find a 120 volt power outlet back there, 12 volt power outlet, and 2 USB charging ports as well. So that was pretty cool finding all of that. And of course, you do have a power sliding rear window that does come standard across the board as well in typical truck fashion there. But then make our way up to the front seats, 8-way power driver seat with power lumbar for all trim levels. Heated front seats coming standard as well. Stain resistant cloth seating coming standard as well. Overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was actually perfectly fine. Definitely didn't have any issues in my short test drive here today at least, so seating was perfectly on point. Then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It did telescope out pretty far, so if you're a taller individual, this is definitely going to work for you. It is leather wrapped as well. I just wish the 10-2 grips were a little bit thicker. This is such a beast of a truck, and then the steering wheel grips are just kind of on the smaller side of things, so wouldn't mind it if Nissan beefed them up, but other than that, it's perfectly fine. Then making our way to the startup, let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Nissan logo all the way to the top. Lock, unlock, that circular button, that is going to be a remote start, which by the way comes standard on every single configuration of this thing. But ultimately it is a keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so once started up, tachometer is on your left, speedometer is on your right. There is a fairly large digital screen front and center to control what is on that screen. There are steering wheel mounted controls found on the left side of the steering wheel. It gives you things like a digital speedometer, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, outside temperature, there's a off-road status. It gives you your elevation and things like that. I liked that. Also some driving statistics, including fuel economy information, radio information, safety information, tire pressure. The list goes on. Pretty much everything you could possibly want on the digital portion of the gauges at least. Then make our way to overall interior quality. No, there is no moonroof available for the SV, unfortunately, in case you were curious. Dual zone climate control coming standard on all trim levels across the board. You will also find HomeLink controls from the Midnight package, and that's for up to 3 different garage doors found just underneath of that rear view mirror there. Overhead sunglass holder coming standard for all trim levels across the board. You're also going to find some satin bronze interior accents for the bronze package at least, so that is pretty cool. I like the grab handles as always in typical truck fashion there. Just in front of the cup holders, you got a little bit of rubberized storage, more than likely to put your cell phone there, your heated seat buttons of course. And then within the center armrest, quite possibly the most storage I have ever seen ever. There's just so much storage space in there. Got the 12 volt power outlet as well. But overall, as far as interior quality goes, it's more to the point. Nothing fancy here. There is some soft touch material on the door, so I did like that. Some gloss black accents found just above the passenger side glove box there, but overall there is some matte black hard plastics throughout, and pretty much designed to get the job done. I'll just put it that way. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen here. 8-inch color touchscreen display does come standard. Bluetooth and audio streaming, of course. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay as well. And you can check out your radio information up there. And so when it comes to the sound system, there is one of them for the SV, and that is going to be a 6-speaker sound system. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Actually, not bad. I've said this before, I think, in Nissan reviews. The bass, they always do a really good job with, regardless of whether or not it's an upgraded Bose sound system or standard sound system like this one. The bass always sounds really, really good. Nissan usually does a pretty darn good job with that. Clarity was actually decent though as well. So one of the better 6-speaker sound systems that I've heard, I will say that. So no issues there actually. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the Titan in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Not the very highest quality as far as high definition goes, but it it'll get the job done, and that is always is going to lead us into safety. And so front side curtain airbags do come standard, driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, lane departure warning, a driver attention monitoring system, forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, and front and rear parking sensors as well. So a good bit. And so overall, when it comes to my final thoughts of the Titan, best in class truck warranty. You gotta love the peace of mind of a 5-year, 100,000 mile bumper to bumper, not powertrain, bumper to bumper warranty. So that is pretty darn good. Excellent steering feel as well. Pretty darn smooth ride as well for a truck, I will say that. Very powerful V8. Like I said, this thing chirped on the acceleration, so nothing wrong with that. Wouldn't have minded seeing a full digital gauge cluster. The gauges are kind of basic, nothing crazy to them, so wouldn't have minded seeing a full digital gauge cluster that was customizable. I know Nissan can do it. They've done it in their other vehicles like the Rogue, for example, so would love to have seen that. And also the braking feel is definitely on the softer side. Wouldn't have minded if they firmed that up. But having said that, this is a full-size pickup truck, so I don't really think that's really a thing, performance braking in a truck. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the new Titan in the comments section below. That is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.